Good morning everybody and welcome to Rhyme of the Times for the weekend in 11th of July 2026. Trump negotiated for Balogun to be reinstated, which has Belgium infuriated and the US team is humiliated. A rerun of the Clacton by-election is initiated by Farage getting agitated over being interrogated. Iran excoriated by Trump as the ceasefire is violated. And Widdecombe's murder has many devastated. Bonnie and Dermot are venerated. A royal rapprochement is accommodated. The biggest football World Cup ever organised had gone quite smoothly, to many people's surprise. But Trump's dictionary says smooth equals boring, and this week he felt compelled to stick his oar in. The USA president had a point of view, seemed to think he was some kind of soccer guru, had a chat with Infantino over what to do concerning the Balogun issue. The USMNT top scorer had gone in too hard on a Bosnia player and got a red card. He was therefore suspended for the next game. Standard practice. Balogun didn't complain. But Trump, sensing persecution of the USA, inevitably viewed things a different way. A red card for raking an opponent's Achilles was VAR being overreaching silly billies. Lo and behold, the suspension was put on hold and Balogun was brought back in from the cold. He played badly, as did the rest of the team, as Belgium ended the American dream. Trump's intervention had badly backfired. A sense of injustice had Belgium inspired. On Tuesday, Nigel Farage rolled the dice, taking, it seemed, only his own advice. He resigned his seat in Clacton and then called a by-election to contest it again. A means to an end of media speculation over his finances and party donations. A means to an end, or will it mean the end of his political career? Well, that will depend. The other parties didn't think much of it. Kemi Badenoch said Nige had had a hissy fit. Sir Keir said it was a desperate act to distract. From every direction Nige was attacked. Leader of the Restore Party, Rupert Lowe, once Nige's partner in crime, dealt a low blow, saying puffing up Farage's ego was the only purpose for having this reform-sponsored media circus. It was something Restore would not partake in, a choice that soon all main parties were taking. But Count Binface will be participating. On the 13th of August it'll be Nige against the bin. Trump turned up at the G7 moody and mean and did his bull in a china shop routine. It seems what had really made his mood glum was Iran's actions that suggest they have shunned the terms of the Islamabad memorandum, causing Trump to describe their regime as scum. Having vilified Iran, he castigated Spain and made an unnerving claim on Greenland again. But as far as Putin's war is concerned, the tables seem to have completely turned. Trump's finally clocked what the West have long known. Putin and his government are rotten to the bone. So Trump promised Zelensky the secret files, gave him the blueprint to make Patriot missiles. On Thursday, there was some shock and much dismay with the news that Widdecombe had passed away. They were extreme right-wing. She received praise far and wide from people on every political side, because she was no nonsense, never complaining, authentic and highly entertaining. And on Strictly Come Dancing and Big Brother, she laughed at herself as loud as any other. One of a kind, but also one who was kind, cared about people despite knowing her mind. Once a Tory MP and then spokesman for reform, she had appeared to be in rude health and good form. But on Friday afternoon, we were to learn that this story had taken a sinister turn. Police had arrested a 26-year-old man on suspicion of the brutal murder of Anne. On Saturday, another twist as the police announced that the guy had been released. He was no longer a person of interest, but another man was now under arrest. This week there were 2 other deaths to relay of 2 people who made a mark in their own way. Bonnie Tyler first hit the top 10 in '76. Lost in France and It's a Hard Take, 2 of her classics. But it was when A Total Eclipse of the Heart in 1983 climbed to the top of the chart that Bonnie internationally came into her own and her gravelly tones were set in stone. And the Welsh singer's career thrived and survived until her death on Wednesday, aged 75. Dermot Murnaghan was a broadcaster, in current affairs a master blaster, worked for BBC Sky and ITN News with his forensic and hard-hitting interviews. Last year he was diagnosed with cancer too late. On Saturday he died at just 68. Former Prince Harry came to Blighty this week with a £50 million privacy claim to seek. But he and the 5 other claimants failed against the publisher of the Daily Mail. All 97 of their claims were dismissed, which seems like a pretty conclusive list. Better news for Harry before the week was done, as Charles finally met up with his prodigal son. Meghan had sneaked into Britain almost unseen, so Archie and Lilibet could see the King and Queen. After a 4-year standoff, what might it mean?